Guys, welcome back to Relax Running's little mini series on AFL pre-season training. This is part 3. Today I want to speak about the time trial, just briefly. The time trial, for those of you who have been in the footy world for a long time, you'd be aware that during pre-season, this is our obsession. It's the coach's obsession. It's the player's obsession. It comes with the territory of pre-season running training. We like it because it's a really good hard hit out. And it also shows us who our strongest running players in the team are. But personally, I think the time trial has been overdone. It's been overused. And I don't think its significance is as big as what we like to imagine. Now, let me explain what I mean by that in a little more detail. As I said, when it comes to measuring the running fitness of a player, it's a great tool. But so many of us just use it as a one-hit wonder. We just go out and do a time trial and go, okay, they're our good runners, they're our poor runners. That's great for your good runners. But the weaker or less fit runners on the team, or just players who don't play key running positions, if they don't have an understanding of what the time trial is, that attitude can just leave them with a lack of confidence. It can leave them feeling as though that, they're not contributing much to the running element of the game. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're not required to. So what's a better attitude to have around the time trial if you're going to use it? I think rather than just using it to measure who's the fastest on your team, we have to use it in the early stages of pre-season and the latter stages of pre-season. And the reason we do that is simply to measure the progression of each player's running fitness. Now, the beauty with this particular approach is it allows room for even the slowest runner on the team to compare themselves not to the best runner on the team, but to their earlier best time in the pre-season. It's also a good gauge as to who's been putting in the hard work when it comes to the pre-season running training. I think that's the most important element. If we're going to use it as a measuring tool for where we were in October versus where we are in February or March, hey, great addition. But just using it for the sake of using it, not as beneficial. Now, I think it's also really important to understand that running is simply an additional tool to use in the world of football. You don't have to be the best runner to be the best player. And I think Sam Mitchell's a great example of this. 2014, he was playing at the peak of his powers down with the Hawthorn Footy Club. He came and did a pre-season training session with the Box Hill Hawks where I was at the time. And what stood out was how far behind he was during the time trial and how much he dominated in the drills where the athlete or the player was just required to get out and find the ball. He had an incredible brain to just find the footy on the field. But had he not understood that the ball skills was more important than the running skills, that can leave someone like him or an athlete like him just lacking confidence. So I tell you that to say that while running can be an advantage, it can add fuel to the fire, it can add to your skill kit, it's not the be all and end all. The main focus has to be on the skill work on the footy field, your ability to find the ball. So with that said, have a chat. If you're a coach, have a chat with the other coaching staff about whether or not you think the pre-season time trial is effective, is relevant, is it measuring what you would like it to. If you're a player and your coach has a different approach to this, keep that in mind. You're not required to be the fastest on your team. You're required to put in the work to develop the skills where you're required to develop them. And running is simply another skill which you can add to the toolkit to improve your pre-season footy.